Hi! Happy Tuesday. We're interrupting your regularly Wait, you aren't supposed to be here yet. Wait. Huh? Yeah, there we go. Fresh coat of paint. It was time. Anyways, if you're watching this around the time of release, Legends ZA is coming out technically tomorrow. So today we're going to make regional forms for the ZA starters. From everything I've seen and heard, we're likely going to be getting megas instead of regional variants like we did in Legends Arceus. I'll be disappointed if that's the case, since regional forms are one of my favorite mechanics. But I'll still take the megas. That just gives me the chance to make my own designs instead. I don't think any of these really count as being France-inspired other than for Alligator, kinda. But I do think they'd all work in Kalos. Since Legends Arceus only did regional evolutions for the final stage, that's what I'm planning here. So starting where every good Pokédex starts, first up is Grass type with Meganium. I went a bit off the wall with all of these, just because I'm not the biggest fan of any of these starters exactly, but Meganium is probably my favorite. Initially, I wanted to make it a Grass Ice type, which is what you're seeing now. Ultimately, I decided to give it the Rock type instead, since I decided on a better starter to give the Ice type. Plus, I had an idea to introduce an aspect of my favorite dinosaur, the Parasaurolophus. I love this design so much, and I'm glad I get to share it with you. This is Meganium, the Crystal Horn Pokemon, a Grass and Rock type. Something about the region of Kalos makes Bayleaf evolve differently. Upon evolving, Bayleaf's leaf crystallizes on top of its head, becoming as hard as a diamond. They use their long neck and tall horn to get berries from tall trees, helping the smaller Pokemon on the forest floor below. This is the first starter that we're seeing today, and I'm pulling a Galarian Zigzagoon with its shiny. Most regional variants have shinies that take from their original design's colors, but I had to take some advantage of the moss and make the perfect autumn shiny. It still takes some information from Johtonian Meganium, but man, the orange leaves look so good. For its abilities, it's a grass starter, so it'll get Overgrow, but for its hidden ability, I give it Sand Force to boost its rock-type moves. With this, I'd say it would probably learn Sandstorm at some point, at least it would have to, I guess. It's probably worth noting that Johtonian Meganium is only about 6 feet. I always felt Meganium should be taller, so even though it's only about a foot taller, I wanted it to feel a lot bigger for that sturdy rock type. Now it's actually bigger than Tropius. On to our next starter. I really struggled with Emboar. Out of the 3 Unova starters, I think Emboar is weirdly my favorite final evolution, so I did want to do it justice. At first I was planning for it to be either a Fire Ground or Fire Steel type, but the goal of all of these designs was to do something weird that I haven't seen other people do. So then I started making a design that was Fire Flying type. I thought it looked striking in the superhero pose, with wings or a cape of fire, not to mention making it a flying pig. But I ended up not really liking any of the designs I could think of. I might come back to that idea at some point, but I found another idea that I really liked instead. There's a bit of reference to the Swinub line here, but Fire Ice as a typing is so cool. Literally. Not to mention, Embor seems to lend itself very well to this kind of Yeti type design. It took a while to get there, but I'm incredibly happy with the final product. This is Embor, the Yeti Pig Pokemon, a Fire and Ice type. Something about the region of Kalos makes Pignite evolve differently. Embor of this region are much calmer than other regions. This has brought the temperature of their fire down to freezing levels. Touching an Embor's fire will instantly give you frostbite. This one was a lot more one-to-one for the shiny, taking the color of the original Unova Embor. But if I'm honest, the normal colors are way better than the shiny. You can let me know if you think different. For its abilities, as always with the starters, it gets Blaze. However, I gave Embor a new hidden ability that I'm calling Frostburn. Being similar to Flame Body, but instead, when making contact with Colossian Embor, allows 30% chance to freeze. Even though it took me a while to iron out how I wanted it to look, I'm incredibly happy with Embor. I would have a really hard time choosing between all of these starters, but again, they're all my art and all my taste, so that kind of makes sense. Onward! Last, but most certainly not least, we have Feraligatr. Even though I struggled with the other two, it took me a long time to figure out how I wanted to do Feraligatr. Figuring out the pose, the stance, even just how I wanted to draw it was difficult. When I first started, I couldn't get the proportions of the design right, and I did still take quite a few liberties given, well, my own style versus the official Pokemon style. But it's also a regional form, so it matters a bit less in my opinion. Anyways, this is the perfect Halloween Pokemon, given that we're in October. If you're watching this when it's released. As you'll be able to tell, I took a lot of inspiration from Hisuian Typhlosion for the design. I'm still working on how I like to render or draw fire or fire-like substances, or like this purple spirit energy that Pokemon likes to use, but I'm getting closer to something I'm happy with. I swear this was not intentional, but I ended up emphasizing the gay in Feraligatr. She's a little, you know. And finally, this is Feraligatr, a water and ghost type. Something about the region of Kalos makes Croconaw evolve differently. Not needing to touch the ground, Feraligatr's legs have become less useful. It's said that touching the energy leaving their body will give you glimpses of the afterlife. You probably guessed that this shiny was going to look like normal Johtonian Feraligatr. Unlike Embor, I actually really like how this one looks. Again, no surprise that its base ability is Torrent. For its hidden ability, though, I gave Feraligatr Levitate, given, well, its design. If you have any other ability suggestions, I'd love to hear them. I don't think Levitate would be great competitively, but it makes sense design-wise at least. And that's another video in the books. If you've made it to the end here, let me know what your favorite design is, which starter you'd choose if these were the final evolutions. Thanks for watching. As always, if you like what you see and see what you like, feel free to do so down below. And while you're down there, why not subscribe? I try to put out a video at least once a month, and I love seeing everybody's support. Hopefully everybody that wants to can be enjoying ZA. Wait, what's that sound? You can still fly?